Hey everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. Today we've got a brand new story to share with you. So let's begin. The moment he walked into that darkroom, I felt the ground shift beneath me. It wasn't just the way he looked, though he was undeniably magnetic, but the energy. The raw, electric pull between us felt like a trap snapping shut. I'd never met him before, but I knew, deep in my gut, that he was a part of my story. A key piece of a puzzle I hadn't yet figured out. We were just students then, lost in the world of photography, developing images in shadows and light. But from the very first moment we shared a space, something ignited between us. There was a magnetic tension in every glance, a flicker of something darker, something unspoken. I couldn't escape it. And more dangerously, I didn't want to. First, we were careful. Too careful. He knew I was married. I knew it was wrong. But the pull between us was undeniable. There was no denying the way my pulse quickened whenever he was near, how the air between us crackled with possibility. Every touch, every fleeting brush of his fingers against mine in the darkroom, felt like a promise of something forbidden and thrilling. But I stayed in my marriage. I stayed because I was supposed to. My health, my family, my past, they were all tangled in the web I couldn't quite escape. But every night I dreamed of him. Every night I felt the hunger between us, the hunger that I could no longer ignore. Then one night as we worked side by side, something snapped. A song played, some blues, smooth and haunting, and suddenly the room felt too small for the tension. The singer's voice echoed, "If you can find love, don't trade it for silver, don't trade it for gold." In that moment our eyes locked. Everything stopped. I knew, with a certainty that shook me to my core, that I could never walk away from this, from him. He crossed the room, slow, deliberate, his breath hot on my neck. And then, without a word, he kissed me. The world blurred into nothing but sensation, the sharp taste of his lips, the heat of his body pressing into mine. Felt alive. Alive in a way I hadn't in years. But the kiss didn't feel like just a stolen moment. It felt like a beginning and a reckoning. The fear set in immediately. This wasn't just about passion. This was about breaking everything. The truth of it hit me like a freight train. I was married, I was committed to someone else. But I couldn't let go of him. And worse, I didn't want to. For weeks we danced this dangerous dance. I went home to my husband, slipping in and out of my life like I was playing some dark, twisted game. Every moment I spent with my husband was suffocating. I pretended to be the woman he wanted, but inside I was someone else entirely. My lover haunted my every thought, my every breath. And the affair, once a secret, grew bolder, more reckless. The thrill of it all was consuming, like a drug I couldn't quit. We met in the shadows, in empty rooms, in hidden places. The sex was intense, brutal, like we were both trying to outpace the consequences. Every time we touched, I felt like we were both on the edge of a cliff, about to plunge into an abyss. But as I started to reclaim my health, my independence, something in my marriage began to break. I started to pull away, to demand more from life. My husband, always so controlled, grew colder. His jealousy crept in. He watched me change, watched me fight for the woman I was becoming, and he didn't know how to hold on to me. I wanted freedom, but he wanted control. It wasn't just a marriage, it was a prison. And then, the tipping point. The night I left him. I couldn't breathe in that house anymore. The suffocation of the lies, the silence, the careful, calculated distance. It crushed me. My lover, always distant, always guarded, finally let me in. If only for a moment. The night we spent together was electric, a frenzy of passion and desire, but underneath it all was the cold shadow of doubt. He wasn't ready to let go of his own demons. He wanted me, but he was terrified of what it meant. Could he trust me? Could he ever be more than just a brief, beautiful affair in my past? In the aftermath of the affair, I thought I'd find clarity. But instead everything felt more complicated. I had burned my old life to the ground, but what I was left with was just as messy. My health was still a battle, but I was stronger, freer than I had ever been. I thought I'd made the right choice. But now, as I stood there in the wreckage of everything, I realized I wasn't just fighting for freedom. I was fighting for love. Real love. The kind that doesn't come without cost. But the thrill of the chase, the rush of those stolen moments, the danger of it all, it never really went away. Even now, as I look back on it, I can still feel the fire of it. The affair was a risk I took, but it was also a warning. Love is never just one thing. It's chaos and control, desire and betrayal, moments of bliss and years of scars. It can burn you alive, but in the end, it's the only thing that ever feels real. And as for him, maybe we were just meant to be two people caught in the same fire, flickering through each other's lives, never quite burning out. Or maybe we were always meant to set each other free. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories like this. See you next time.